Two Medigap policies. Same rules, same lettering, sold side by the same companies. One of them costs you more every single month. The other costs less, right up until you walk into a doctor's office. Ask which is cheaper, and you'll get a confident answer either way. Both answers are guesses, because Plan G and Plan N part company in only two places. And only one of those two is the thing people argue about. By the end of this, you'll be able to work out which one is cheaper for you on the back of an envelope in about a minute. And you'll need exactly one number to do it, a number nobody but you can supply. Start with what they have in common because it's very nearly everything. Medigap policies are standardized. In most states, they come as lettered plans, and every plan with the same letter offers the same basic benefits, no matter which company sells it, no matter where you live. Sit with that because it does more work than anything else in this video. A Plan G from one insurer covers what a Plan G from any other insurer covers. Price is the only difference between policies with the same letter sold by different companies. So this was never a comparison of two products. It's a comparison of two designs. And these two are close cousins. Both pay your Part A hospital coinsurance, your share of a hospital bill after Medicare has paid its part. Both pay your Part B coinsurance, which is the same idea at the doctor's office. Both cover the Part A deductible, the skilled nursing facility coinsurance, hospice coinsurance, blood, and 80% of foreign travel emergency care up to the plan's limits. Neither one covers the Part B deductible, the amount you pay yourself each year before Part B starts paying anything. Nothing sold to anyone new to Medicare since 2020 does. So where do they actually separate? Two places. That's the whole list. Quick word before we go further. This channel is educational only, not financial, tax, or legal advice, and I'm not a registered investment advisor. Everything here comes from the government's own guides, all linked below. And your state may give you more rights than the federal rules do. The first difference is the one you'll feel most often. Plan N pays your Part B coinsurance in full, the same as Plan G. But it can ask you for a copayment when you actually turn up to $20 for some office visits, up to $50 for an emergency room visit that doesn't end with you being admitted. Plan G asks for neither. That's the trade in a sentence. Plan N charges you less every month and a little more each time you walk in. The second difference is the one everyone argues about, and it's smaller than its reputation. It's called a Part B excess charge. Medicare has a term for this, assignment. A provider who accepts it takes the Medicare-approved amount as payment in full. One who hasn't agreed can bill you above it. In many cases, the extra is capped at 15%. Plan G covers that. Plan N doesn't. Which sounds alarming until you know two things. Most doctors, providers, and suppliers do accept assignment, and some are required by law too. So for a great many people, this difference is theoretical. For a few, someone who sees specialists that don't take assignment, it isn't. And that is the entire list. Two differences: co-pays and excess charges. Everything else on the two benefit charts is identical. So which one is cheaper? Here's where the envelope comes in. It takes about a minute. Find the yearly premium for the Plan G you're being offered. Find the yearly premium for the Plan N from the same company. Subtract the smaller from the larger. That's what Plan G costs you extra every year. guaranteed whether you use it or not. Now divide it by 20, that office copayment. What comes out is the number of office visits a year where the two plans cost the same. Below that number, Plan N is cheaper. Above it, Plan G is. That's the low end. Not every visit carries the full copayment, but it's the number to think with. That's the whole calculation. One subtraction, one division. And it answers the question every comparison article dances around, because the honest answer differs for every person, and it turns on something only you know. How many times a year do you actually sit in a waiting room? But here's why that number still doesn't settle it. The premium difference is certain. You pay it every month in full, whether you see anyone or not. The copayments are not certain. They only arrive when something is already wrong. So you aren't really choosing between cheaper and more expensive. You're choosing between a bill you can predict and a bill you can't. For a lot of people, that stops being arithmetic and becomes something closer to temperament, which points at what Plan G is actually selling. It isn't more coverage, not in any way that touches a hospital stay or skilled nursing or hospice or the Part B coinsurance doing the heavy lifting in both. What Plan G sells is the absence of small surprises. Whether that's worth the difference depends on two things: how often you're in a waiting room, and how much you dislike being handed a bill on your way out of one. Before we finish all of it in one place, this is the part worth writing down. 2 things to do. 1. Do the envelope math. Yearly premium for G minus yearly premium for N divided by 20. That's your break-even measured in office visits a year. 2. Compare the same letter across companies before you compare one letter against another. The gap between identical policies can be wide. Do it early while companies still have to take you. And 4 things to know. 3. G and N cover the same hospital coinsurance, the same Part B coinsurance, the same skilled nursing, hospice and blood. Neither covers the Part B deductible. 4. Plan N can charge a copayment when you turn up to $20 for some office visits, up to $50 for an emergency room visit that doesn't end in admission. 5. Plan G covers Part B excess charges and Plan N doesn't. Most doctors accept assignment, and some are required by law too, so for many people, this matters less than it sounds. And 6. The premium difference is certain. The copayments aren't. That's the real choice. So what's the real difference in cost? It isn't the letters. One design hands you a slightly larger bill every month. The other hands you a smaller one, plus a stack of small ones you can't schedule. And there's a last thing worth more than the whole G versus N question. Every standard Plan G is the same Plan G. Every standard Plan N is the same Plan N. So price is the only thing left for companies to compete on, which means the gap between two companies selling the identical letter can be wider than the gap between the letters. Most people spend their time choosing a letter. The money is usually in choosing the company. One caveat, and it matters most if you already hold a policy. Moving to another company later usually means answering health questions first, and being turned down is possible. There's no general right under federal law to switch. Some states go further, and some companies will sell anyway. Worth asking. Don't count on it. Which is why, if you're setting this up for the first time, that's the moment to shop hardest. It's the one window where no company gets to say no. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. It genuinely means a lot. If this video gave you something to think about, do one small thing. Subscribe to Retirement Decisions Desk. Every video here unpacks one retirement decision, and subscribing is how you'll never miss the next one. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.